Hello everybody, and welcome to our very first episode of our live stream expert series. I am so excited to be going live with you guys for the second time recently. Last week we introduced this whole series, and today we are doing the very start of it all, which is super excited. So if you have joined me, please leave a comment in the comment section and show some love. Hi Kiki, how's it going? So I thought I would just go ahead and get started. If you have had a chance to check out my profile, you will have seen the itinerary, or at least game plan, for today's live stream. And we are actually going to be starting with the pre-planning, what you do before you even go live, what you need in terms of the technical setup and tools, your presence training, some makeup tips and tricks, and positioning yourself, your product, as well as mental readiness and our natural fear response. Some people get really choked up when they get on live stream. I don't know if that's you. If you are nervous on camera, show some love, put that heart button, and let me know that you are nervous just like me sometimes. Now, I don't know if you guys had a chance to check out the previous live stream, but I did let you guys know that I've gone live 190 times and counting now. So that is a lot of live streaming, and I thought, why not share some of that expertise with you guys and do a full series? So that's where we are right now. We're episode 1 of a 5-part series, and this is everything you need to know pre-stream. So with that being said, we can go ahead and get started. Of course, when we are thinking about live streaming, we are going to start getting a little bit nervous in terms of what we're going to say, how we're going to act, if we're going to come off natural on camera. And all of these responses are so natural, and all it's going to take is practice. Practice makes perfect. And all of your little insecurities, they'll end up going away after a couple streams, and definitely after a couple years. I'll tell you that from experience. So when we're thinking of going live, we first of all have to have the topic and the expertise. That's if you are doing a coaching or a training, or you're trying to deliver some value-based information. We expect that all of us here on our Instagram are some type of coach or some type of expert in the industry, will have the background experience to be able to talk about the subject that you're talking about. So that will naturally give you the confidence. If you know what you're saying and you're confident in what you're saying, you'll be good from the start, because you will have that inside, that confidence, knowing that you have something to deliver, you have the value. But now you have to figure out how you're going to condense all of that information, or maybe even expand on some of the information. We can get caught up talking really fast in live streams a lot of the time, and that's out of nervousness. So if you find yourself doing that, like I am right now, take a deep breath, take a moment, because your natural pauses are not gonna seem so bizarre to your viewers. They are natural. They are what your normal human response is. So although in your head it seems like you're breathing or you're pausing for 30 seconds, it's really just 3 seconds, and it's really not as obvious as you think. So my first tip for you is, if you're nervous about going live, just know that being natural and being yourself is all it really takes. So what are we going to talk about? So if you are a education-based coach or product or service that you need to educate your audience on, you will need to have all of that information laid out really clearly. Don't be afraid to use a clipboard. Here I am using my very own clipboard right here. It's not embarrassing. I'll check it every so often. You notice I'm not reading off of it though, of course. But as a course that I want to deliver a specific value on, I need to have all of that information written down. So write it down, type it up, print it out, and have it with you so that you have a proper structure for the stream. So some of the goals that you might have in regards to streaming, you'll have to obviously get a little bit more granular about what goal you want to move forward with for the streams. It could be putting a face to your brand. So maybe you are a product-based business, and as of yet, none of your followers have seen your face. They've only seen your product, some behind the scenes, some product photos, and various content types that are related to your niche. If you're that person, leave a comment down below. If you are a product-based business and all you show is your product, leave a heart. Okay, I see a heart. So now maybe you're feeling like it's time to put a face to my brand. And if you are in branding, or maybe you're not and you don't know, having that face to your product is going to be super essential in developing the community connection that your business is craving. You need to have your face behind your brand to let your customers know where their product is coming from. At this day and age, everyone wants to have that information. They want to get to know you. They want to get to know what makes your business unique. And that is always going to be you as the business owner. So it's really important to, at least if you're not comfortable doing it yourself, maybe you can hire somebody to do it, and contract out a live stream expert who will be able to go live for your company. So if you're totally off limits of doing it yourself, that's perfectly okay. You can hire someone to do it. But having a face to your product-based business is a very, very good perk. Now, if you're a service-based business and your clientele relies on you to perform the service, having your face in front of the camera is a non-negotiable. Okay, so if you're a salon person, if you're a hairstylist, if you're a counselor, whatever you may be, you have to get behind the camera. So whether or not that's a monthly check-in on stories, or at the very, very least, getting a photographer to come in and put your face on your brand, that's going to be essential. But in terms of live streaming, you need to show your customers who they're dealing with, especially for a service. If I'm going to go get my lashes done by somebody that's going to charge me, lashes is a bad example. Let's say I want to go get my eyebrows microbladed, okay? I'm not just going to go to anyone on my street. I'm going to go to somebody that I found on Instagram that seems personable, that seems like they know what they're doing. And then I'm going to start digging in for more information and maybe potentially book an appointment. But if I'm going to a service and I'm checking them out on Instagram or something like that beforehand, it's going to make such a difference if you have your face behind it and you're authentic and genuine. So that is a goal, to put your face behind the brand. Another goal that you may have in live streaming is product education and expertise. That's what I was mentioning earlier about making sure that you are actually, in fact, an expert, or feel at least 95% confident in what you're saying to justify the fact that you're going live. Having nerves is a totally different thing than having like inexperience, or like the inaptitude to have like a full-on educational live stream. So just bear that in mind. There are other goals that you may have that maybe don't have anything to do with some of the more niche aspects of your business. Like maybe you just want to generate some excitement and anticipation. Maybe you want to entertain your customers. That's going to be a totally different goal than what we're doing today. As you can see, I'm not very entertaining. I may be personable, I may be energetic, but I'm not necessarily entertaining you guys right now. If I wanted to entertain you, I might introduce a guest. I might do some sort of funny skit, some sort of comedy thing. I might do a game night, like a bingo or some type of giveaway. And those are the things that would inspire and entertain your audience. Another thing that you may have in mind when you want to plan out your stream is if there are any other goals, such as building up your content library. So for instance, right now, one of my goals with this live stream series is really just to build up the content on my page. I want to be offering value to not only my existing clientele from the LE Social Media Agency, but also for future clientele that are interested in live streaming services, for instance. Having this content library available to those people is going to be essential in helping convert them as customers, because they're going to see that I have an idea of what I'm talking about, that I'm an expert in the industry, and therefore it attracts clientele by having that content available on your page. So already we've covered 3 different goals. We've had putting a face to the brand, educating with product expertise or service expertise, generating excitement and anticipation, building up a content library. And then lastly, another goal that you may have is to collaborate with other pages. And that could be via the interview functionality of the live stream, or it could be maybe that you are partnering up with other companies during a giveaway and you wanted to just present all the information via live. That's also a great goal to have. So I have a lot to cover in this video. I hope that everyone is still tuned in. If you are, please leave a comment down below and let me know what your goal is going to be for your next live stream. So that's important. Have a think and leave me a comment down below. Let me just grab a sip of my water. So not only do you need to have an outline, you also need to get your audience in on it too. So when I first opened up this stream, I let you guys know what exactly to expect. So that's something that you need to put in your plan for your live stream. Another thing that you'll need to have in your head is some mental notes. So every time that you stream, be aware of what's making you uncomfortable, what you need to improve on, and watch your videos back. Sometimes it can be cringy to watch yourself on camera, but part of learning how to portray what you want to portray is watching yourself do it so that you can go ahead and implement some ideas that you may have from watching yourself. This is why football players watch themselves. Public speakers will watch themselves, and it's really important to look back on your content to see how it performed and see how you can improve. In my everyday work with my social media clients, I'm always taking a look at the analytics, and you'll have to do the same for yourself. Although analytics for videos are a little bit less available, you'll have to take some of those mental notes and make some of those observations on your own, or maybe have somebody that's close to you that you trust and that isn't gonna kind of tear your video apart, to kind of give you some positive feedback. If that's a loved one, your significant other, or maybe it's just somebody that you respect within your industry. That could be another way to maybe make it a little bit less triggering and easy to digest the feedback, is to get somebody who you're not as familiar with to give you some feedback, and maybe it might not hurt so bad as well. Okay, another thing that you will need to know and plan is the structure of the live. So now you know what your goal is. You know that you're an expert and you know what you want to say. Now it's time to figure out what kind of method and structure you want to deliver it on. Is it going to be kind of a list? Is it going to be by storytelling? Is it going to be by point form, free talk? Or are you going to be guided by questions? Things like that. So depending on the video style, you'll want to consider what kind of flow you'll have in terms of the conversation. It can get dry sometimes to just be staring at the camera and talking for a long period of time. This is why it's always good to engage with your customers as you go along. So here I see Karen, Jules, Heather, pre-construction condos, and Kiki that are in the comment section. So if you're watching on playback, leave a comment down below. But if you're watching live, let me know as well. So interact with your audience while you're going through your structure of delivery and your flow. Because if you're just talking the whole time and you're not trying to engage with your audience and get them to comment or get them to think about a specific scenario, you're really just talking to a flat wall there. So it's important to have that structure in place so that you know where you're going to be going and that some random comment isn't going to throw you off. Another thing to think about before you even get started on the live stream is how you're going to introduce yourself as soon as you press play. That is one of the most important parts of the live stream itself, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a lot of the time people will be on live stream, they'll press play and they'll be like, "Hi guys, I'm just gonna wait for more people to join." And they look a little bit like sad, and they're quiet, and they're just kind of waiting there. Like, what customer would wait for everyone else to join? You have to get started right away, okay? This is not something that you just wait for people to join. You have to get started, because what happens is that video turns into a piece of content that gets saved on your feed right after. So if you're doing that weird, awkward beginning where you're like, "Hi, okay, so I'm just gonna, okay, how is everyone doing?" it's not gonna land. No one's gonna want to stick around. You gotta stop doing that, and you just gotta really get to the point, introduce what topic you're talking about, get comfortable on the screen, and dive right into the content. That's really important to note before you even begin the stream, because if you don't think about that, by the time you get on the stream, you're definitely gonna do that awkward thing at the beginning. Okay, so those are the most important topics for the pre-stream planning in terms of content delivery. Now we can go ahead and cover some of the tech setup and tools required. Now, if you're just live streaming on Instagram, you just need your phone. Live streaming on Instagram is probably the easiest platform to live stream on because your phone, if it's a high quality phone, has really good sound and has really good visuals and is already cut in the dimensions that you need it. But if, for instance, you want to live stream on YouTube or Facebook, you may need some additional tools to make it a little bit easier for you so you don't have to worry so much about the tech and you can worry about the talk. Okay, so here, speaking of talk, we have a microphone right here, which is our blue snowball. And this has been my trusty little snowball for the past 2 or 3 years. You basically connect it by a USB, but you can use any kind of higher grade microphone. Obviously, if you're new to live streaming, you won't necessarily want to invest in the most expensive tools, but I do believe that this is quite affordable. So this comes on a stand and you could use this for live streams, podcasting, creating voice overlays for videos and things like that. So it might be nice to invest in this. And this is really when you're live streaming from your laptop, not really from your phone. USB cord. Now, if you're using a microphone, you're probably also going to be looking for a webcam. So you can take a look online at different webcams depending on what you prefer. This one itself is quite a wide screen, and I find that this one specifically, it's a Logitech 1080p. 1080p is super important. But this one, you can adjust some of the settings depending on what program you're using. So for instance, I use a program called Ecamm Live, which is a third-party streaming service that you can use that will directly connect you to multiple platforms at once, first of all, and also allow you to live stream directly to Facebook and YouTube without doing it right on the platform, as well as some other additional features that you get through Ecamm Live. But anyways, what I was trying to tell you about this camera is that it is a little bit gray toned. So when you're looking at the different webcams that you're looking at, make sure you take a look at different photos of people using that webcam so you can see if that coloration, saturation situation is gonna be good for you. There are a lot of different webcams on the market. It's a simple Amazon search. Same thing goes for the microphone, so I won't add any links down there. It's not the intention to start doing affiliate marketing. Here we have a laptop stand. So this is helpful if you want to get a little bit of height on your top of the screen. So you can adjust this, clear some table space as well as get a better angle. So if you're streaming on your laptop, you put your laptop on top and then you put your webcam on top of the laptop, you're getting that angle that's a downward facing angle right on a tabletop. So I used to actually live stream for an arts and crafts company where I would need a lot of table space to be able to show the product and also be a host. So these two were really helpful for me particularly. If you are using a laptop stand, you may also want to grab yourself a remote keyboard and mouse. These ones are Mac, of course, but you don't have to go with that one. Any other kind of brand works. I think there's a Logitech option at Pharmaprix or, Pharmaprix in Quebec, that's what we call it. Shoppers Drug Mart in Vancouver. Okay, so those are kind of the techie tools. Another consideration is some adapters that you may need depending on what kind of systems you're working with. This is one that has multiple USB ports, an HDMI cord as well, and just attaches to the regular Mac. And then this one is just an Apple one USB connector. Now, lighting is one of the most important aspects of the stream. And here in front of me, I have this ginormous, newer ring light. And that is what helps you feel a little more confident on camera. I'll say that for sure. But it also helps you find the lighting no matter what time of day it is, and helps you be the center of the story. So definitely recommend getting yourselves a ring light. You will want to take in consideration the size of the ring, and I'll tell you why in just a second. The reason being is because if I go up close to the light, you can see in my eyes right now that there is a really big ring light right in front of me. Now, I don't recommend going this close to the camera, but you can see in my eyes that this ring light is very, very big. There are adjustments to make it more cool, to make it more warm, and to overall balance out. See how different that is, everybody? Okay, to balance out the lighting. And as you can see, when I brought that lighting brighter, really brightened up my face to a point where it looks really animated. Now, of course, I'm using a filter from Instagram, but it's more of a natural one. But I'm noticing that it looks less natural the brighter my light is. Okay, there we go. See, it's softer. You don't see that shine on the forehead. Your skin looks natural, and you just have a slight glow to yourself. So always just go for that natural look. Don't go too bright because people will know and it won't look that great. If you don't like the look of having the ring in your eye, you could always go down in size. Now, you won't get as much of the brightness effect, but you will have the less obvious look in your eye. So the smaller it gets, the less obvious it is. Now, with that being said, the smaller it gets, the less brightness you'll have. So, for instance, if you're a younger skin, if you're between 18 and 25, you don't really need that much extra bright light because you have your youthful skin, you have your youth and beauty. If you are more mature aged and have fine lines and wrinkles like me, you can't really see in this filter, but like me, sometimes I can get a little insecure about some of my fine lines. Simply make your ring light brighter and it hides them completely. So if things like that are what's preventing you from live streaming, there is always a solution. So let's just do a little recap of all of those tech tools and setups. So tech tools, we had the camera, the microphone, the adapters, the stand, the laptop, keyboard and mouse to keep your table area free, the ring light, and in front of me I have a tripod that's holding my phone. And then of course any clipboards that you need and any extra additional props that you may need in your video. For instance, if you're doing a game night, you may need the game board itself. Now, in terms of the set up of the video, I prefer to stand in my videos. I just find that sitting sometimes can make me feel a little bit stiff, a little bored, I can seem on camera. And when I'm standing, I have the freedom to kind of get in the camera, really get my ideas across, use my hands like an Italian, and really portray my ideas through the camera. If you're more comfortable sitting down, then definitely sit down. This is what makes you guys most comfortable, so choose that. Sitting down, standing up, very big difference. So try both on camera before making that decision because it can really make a difference in terms of your overall presence, as well as your posture, your outfit choice, your makeup, and your background. So this is just my home background here. And I set it up on an angle so that you guys can see dead center. Here I am. But you also get a view of the fireplace. And in terms of placement, I'm in the upper third. My head is in the upper third of the video. That's what you're gonna want because you're gonna have all of these comments coming up down below, and that's gonna cut off your face if it's down here. You know when you join some live streams and the person's face is right down here, and there's all of this space up here that they could be using, but they're not. And you see how much better I look when I'm really fully using the stage that I have. Okay? Other accessories that might make you feel a little bit more glamorous, jewelry, scarves, etc. Having a nice styled hair. If you can't freshly wash your hair, then use dry shampoo, of course, but that fresh hair dried, blow dried look looks best in my opinion. And then lastly, what I'll go over is some makeup before we get into some serious stuff. So we're already at 25 minutes, so I don't want to go too much longer. So I'll just run through some of the makeup tips really quickly. First tip is going to be to choose a more natural shade of lipstick. Any range of pink or nude that you have in your natural shade is going to be best. Unless you're actually a makeup artist and you are really good at doing makeup and you're able to match your skin with your tonality and your hair and actually have it well balanced. So if not, and you're not confident in that, don't go for a crazy shade of lipstick because it could be distracting during your video. If you want to make your eyes appear a little larger, take a white crayon and line the inner rim of your lower lash line. This will give you the appearance that your eyes, the white of your eyes is larger, and in turn make your eyes appear larger themselves. If you want to get rid of some oil and shine in your T-zone, take a loose powder like so. Take your wet makeup sponge, dip it in, and bake underneath your eyes. If you want to learn more about that, simply Google it on YouTube. And lastly, make your shine disappear, but don't let your radiance go out the door, okay? So here I have some Dior highlighter, tops of the cheeks, under the brow bone, on the nose, on top of the lip, and maybe even on the chin. That's gonna give yourself a little bit more present without totally washing yourself out with all that powder. If you're youthful and you have really nice skin, don't bother with the powder at all. Some shine is good, it's just not if it's blinding, okay? So those are my top makeup tips for live streaming. And now we can get on to some of this serious stuff because I want to start wrapping up this video relatively soon here. The serious stuff. This is a little bit of a nod back towards the pre-planning of the stream, thinking about what you want to say, how you want to say it. The serious stuff is about getting the most out of your stream and optimizing it for your goals. So, for instance, what call to actions are you going to be using throughout your stream and at the beginning and end of your stream? Do you need to direct them to some type of funnel system? You definitely need to direct them to your website and also get them to follow, like, subscribe, that sort of thing. So think about what your offer is on social media. Think about your products. Think about what sales and promotions are coming up. Think about what you want to convey during this live stream and make sure, make sure that you're using CTAs at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of your videos. Things like comment down below if, give us a follow, give us some hearts if you agree with what I'm saying. Shop our website right after this and get 20% off using the code blank. These are things that are essential parts of your live stream that you're not gonna wanna forget, okay? So make sure that those are all written down in exactly what kind of format you want so that it's gonna be compelling and it's gonna actually give your viewer an instruction to do. What I want you guys to do is to just continue watching every single Wednesday, to get many views on these videos and share them around. That's all I'm looking for this series, and to build out my content library. I don't have a course. I'm not trying to sell a course. I'm literally just giving away as much free information as I possibly can at this point because I feel like I've been streaming for 3 years and I want to just share the information that I have and live stream for my own benefit. So that's what I'm doing here today. If I was selling you guys something, I'd have very, very clear call to actions and a format for you to follow right away. So when I'm opening up this video, the first thing I'm going to say is today's episode 1, but if you want to get the more extensive version of this course, please head on over to my Udemy page and you'll be able to take a look at some videos and decide if it's for you. Do you see what I mean here? So these are things that you're going to want to have organized all the time. Okay. You're also going to want to be selling yourself as well. your personality and who you are from the inside. I've made a few jokes tonight that maybe aren't gonna be funny for some people, but maybe they are, and at least I'm just being authentic and genuine. When I first started on live streaming, let me tell you, I was so not natural. I was very, very cringy, and I was doing this like soft voice that was like not me at all, and I don't know why I was doing it, and I was just doing this really weird soft like phone voice. And since that moment not since that moment, it took me a few months to get out of that bad habit, because most of the time I wasn't really aware of it, to be honest. I would kind of watch it back and I'd just be cringing because I hated watching myself back. But since then, I've been streaming for obviously 3 years now, so there has been a very, very significant improvement along that journey. But it did take some time for me to feel confident in my own self and bringing it on camera and feeling happy and natural to be speaking to basically nobody on the other side of the camera. So it is going to take some time, and that's why I suggested earlier to just watch your videos back so that you can continue to improve. Okay, so with that being said, we do have to cover the topic of mental resilience, because this job is not easy. It is not easy to live stream, just as it's not easy to public speak. And these are basically the same thing, especially with how the marketplace is adapting and how marketing itself is changing. This is so, so important, you guys, because when you think about mental resilience and live streaming and the longevity of a project like this, it's really, really easy to get discouraged and to want to give up right away. You'll do one video, you'll look back on it, it will have completely failed, probably bombed, maybe nobody even watched it. Maybe worse, only 20 people watched it, and that's even embarrassing in itself. But the thing is with live streaming, you're not gonna get the results right away. Right now, I don't even know if there's anybody watching this video, but it's not gonna stop me from continuing to do this every single week. That may be because part of my goal here is content development, so obviously that's not gonna impair my goals, but even at that, you cannot give up. And if you do, and you've been telling everyone that you're gonna go live streaming every single Wednesday for the next 7 to 10 weeks, and people start showing up, and then you all of a sudden are not there, it's inconsistent, it doesn't build trustworthiness, and it shows that you're not dedicated to your work or your projects. So definitely don't give up once you start. At least commit to 3 or 4 live streams in the immediate future if this is a project that you want to consider for yourself. And if it is not something that you personally want to do, but you want to start doing for your company, you can definitely hire out. You can contact me. You can send me a message on Instagram. Or like what I did for my arts and crafts company, you simply angle the camera to the table. If you're comfortable talking and giving a voice to the brand, that's the next best thing. But in the meantime, just keep going, keep practicing, and don't give up right away. It'll take you upwards of a year of regular live streaming before you actually see consistent results. And that's the reality that we're finding out with Instagram and Facebook these days, is that there is no such thing as an easy fix or an easy sale on digital marketplaces and platforms these days. You have to put the work in, and that means at this day and age, you need a brand and a face to represent your product or your service and your business. So making sure that you're not gonna chicken out and stop live streaming after 1 or 2 is necessity. Write it down and make a promise to yourself right now that you won't give up. Another aspect of the mental resilience is managing your fear of going live and of putting yourself in an uncomfortable position. Now, I like to think of worst case scenario in everything that I do. I am generally a pretty spontaneous, high-risk person that can handle a lot of stress, but not everyone is like that. And I can definitely understand why some catastrophizing could be happening when you start thinking about live streaming, such as, oh my God, am I gonna get bullied? Am I gonna get weird comments in the comment section? Am I gonna get questions in the comment section that I don't know how to respond to or react to? Is no one gonna show up? Am I gonna look bad? Am I gonna look stupid? Am I going to do something embarrassing? Am I going to freeze up and stop talking? Those are the kinds of things that you do when you catastrophize this kind of scenario. So here's some of my tips and tricks for that specifically. First, we'll acknowledge the fact that everyone is going to have fear for an activity like this. What's really worked for me is instead of focusing on the nervousness and that fear response, instead I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to say, I'm really excited for this. And if you trick your body into thinking that it's not nerves, it's just excitement, it's the same physiological response in the body. So you can trick your mind just as much as your body's tricking you into thinking it's scary. So that is my first piece of advice in terms of managing fear. Second piece of advice in terms of managing fear is thinking about worst case scenarios. So what if your video sucks and you bomb it? Just don't save it after, and who knows how many people saw it anyways. So just releasing some of the insecurities and some of the pressure from the situation is also going to help you manage your fear and anxieties towards it. Okay, in terms of bullying or different scenarios that you might have heard online where people will just flash bomb the live stream and try to get in on it via an interview, or maybe they'll try to hack into it, or maybe you'll get some mean comments in the comment section. My number one advice is to be firm, confident, and strong, and to act quickly. So if you by accidentally invited someone onto your live stream and they're walking around naked or they're saying weird things, just end the stream. If there are people in the comment section that are not bothering you, end the stream. If you can handle it, and if you want to continue going on with those kinds of live stream experiences, you can be firm just like you would in a school environment when you're getting bullied. You say, that is not acceptable behavior and I will not have it on my channel. Please leave at blank, okay? That's usually enough to scare somebody away from your channel, especially if you're highlighting them with their name, their behavior, outlining why it's not acceptable, and telling them that they're not welcome in your stream. So don't feel worried about that kind of scenario. The likelihood of that actually happening is very, very, very low, okay? And if it is happening, just know that it has literally nothing to do with you. What people think of you is an expression of what they think of themselves. So just reassure yourself with those words, and try to just continually be consistent on live stream. And that's the best thing that's going to build up your confidence, because it's going to give you the experience behind it so that you don't have to be worried and nervous anymore. Okay, so that's basically all I have for today. I've been on live for almost 40 minutes now, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Even if you only tuned in for a couple minutes here or there, I really appreciate you tuning in, and I really want to know what your feedback is on this series so far. So let me know in the comments, what was your favorite part of this video, and what was some of the information that you learned today that you think that you're going to implement or that really stuck with you. I'd really love to hear about that in the comment section. Otherwise, please just like and share this video, and stay tuned for next week, next Wednesday, when we talk about more information on live streaming. That will be episode 2, okay, everybody? We're going to get more in depth about some of the content and structure of the live stream and what you're going to say and how you're going to present your information in the next episode. So thank you again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for episode 2. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you next time.